Hi everyone and welcome back to another Boku no Game video. Today's video is dedicated to the very hard summer boss, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. This has to be one of the hardest bosses I've ever faced. He can deal both physical and magical damage. Note that once he falls below 40% HP, he's going to be in an enraged state. Now when it comes to this boss, around like the 47-48 second mark, he's going to have a one shot. And the thing is you want to make him fall below around 500,000 to 520,000 HP. At the very bare minimum, I feel like 500,000 will guarantee you a two-phase run. Now note here, these are going to be the different teams. Now I think you've seen this Google spreadsheets before. Thank you to the person who created this. All these different teams though, note that they were at level 100 and they didn't really explicitly say some of their gears. Now the parts that is probably the most important part, the thing that makes us different from this is going to be the level 100 part that I covered earlier, right? So if these teams don't work out for you, don't stress about it. 3 runs is still completely worth it. There is a team without Makoto. Of course, it still requires June. In some ways, this boss, we're not ready for it in global right now, but as soon as like the cap increases occur, I think that is why they're rushing it. Then we will be able to tackle this boss within 2 phases or even 1 phase at best. All right, so the teams that we're actually going to be running for this one is the one with Yui. All right, so this is the one that we're going to be trying. Hopefully we can get proper RNG on it. We can also make him fall below 500,000 HP, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've been running this boss like multiple times and it's really difficult for me. And I did equip like the armor pieces for both Makoto and Kaori. Maybe that has something to do with the fact why I can't do it, but the biggest parts, try to get Makoto to do her UB before Kaori. And honestly, like, this boss is difficult. Like, there is no shame doing it in like 3 turns. That is probably ideal. Anything below like 3 turns, technically it's not ideal ticket wise. And shard wise though, it is somewhat like debatable because you get a shard for doing this run, so it's up to you how you want to do it. 47-second mark right here. So I think Miyako managed to actually avoid that. We got really good RNG. So usually what happens there is we die. All right, so we die at the 38-second mark, which is actually way better for us. That usually doesn't happen. Now we are at the 630,000 HP range. We want to get to 500,000. So we're at 580,000. We are doing great so far. 532,000. Yes, this is finally the run that I'm going to keep. 480,000. We keep those. All right. In case like you don't like this run, you can jump into the menu. You can go ahead and like hop out. But no, this is a good run for us. 424,000. Absolutely fine right here. 418,000. Yes. All right. This team, if you want to run it, feel free to copy this one. Let's go ahead and look at the damage report. Of course, Kaori is doing the maximum amount of damage. The biggest parts right there was the 47-second mark where Miyako was able to avoid that hit. I think she was invincible during that time. Something was going on there, and that is probably the most important part to this boss. We can go ahead and run it again and use the same team. This same team is absolutely fine. In the Google spreadsheets, this is also advised in case you want to run it. I think this team is by far the best one if you can run it. You're not supposed to equip this piece of gear right here and refine it. And then the same thing with Makoto, where I'm not supposed to equip like this gear piece either. This doesn't fully brick them, but it semi bricks them in some ways because it makes it so that their UBs aren't timed properly. Let's go ahead and jump back into the event and fight this boss one more time. Like, oh my gosh, he's so stressful. I'm so happy we finally got this RNG. But the biggest thing is if I can't kill him within a certain threshold, like within the appropriate times, then I can jump like here into the menu. Right here, he's in rage, right? And then I can go ahead and jump out of the match. But we should be fine so far. If we manage to kill him, that's great. If we don't manage to kill him, we'll jump out. I'm good either or because it's been a tough road just trying to get him to 418,000. All right, I've been doing like 15-20 runs just to get like this one run that's actually decent for me. So we are doing a-okay right now. 130. Oh man, I have been waiting for this moment. It took so long to get here. Honestly, it might have just been like manual play. Maybe it was like a better RNG, who knows. 50,000. Please Kaori, take him down. Heck yeah, that is going to be the 2-turn team that worked out for me. This was so hard. Like, this was quote unquote very hard. I understand if you guys wanted this guide, but it took me a while to make it because I had such a hard time just getting this down. All right, in case you're wondering about like the actual like metal gacha and stuff, if you are a whale player player or a dolphin player and you just want more Kokoro shards, Kokoro is going to shine at 3 stars. We'll do like a full in-depth guide on it later on, but just note that it is worth it if you are more of like a meta-based person to get the shards for these and just sort of jump to the lineups and eventually farm the summer Kokoro shards. You don't need her at 5 star. She can work at 3 star. 3 star is her ideal place. 4 star if you're really pushing it, but 4 star is really not necessary. But just note that summer Kokoro is going to be a very meta unit for this clan battle, and you are definitely going to need her for future clan battles until other people get to her level. All right, thing that makes summer Kokoro so good is she has a defense break. Don't have her yet, so we can't do like the breakdowns even if we wanted to, but we'll cover it in a different video. Let's go ahead and jump into some PvP. I did not know it would be like this difficult because a lot of people were asking for guides in the comments and stuff, and I have to say sometimes it really does fall into better RNG, or maybe it's better manual play. This octopus, I feel like in some ways we weren't ready for it because CN had level 100. I'm sort of happy that they're rushing it to make us level 100, but also like I hope that in future events like it gets better, but I feel like this is the last time this is gonna happen, at least for this boss in particular. We might face a similar situation when Luna Tower comes out and we have a difficult time, because Luna Tower is essentially a repeat of what we just experienced with like the Tenta boss or the octopus boss, right? Because we're just going through pretty much boss battles within a tower, and we have to have like the appropriate timings and all the different units. Kino is going to become more meta, you know, in the future and all that stuff, and there's going to be like a different meta for like Luna Tower. Luna Tower is going to be like here, should be appearing like fairly soon. But just imagine like that difficulty of a boss single player for Luna Tower. It's going to be insane, and honestly, am I prepared for it? I have no freaking idea. But one of the biggest things is like getting the timing, finally achieving like that run that worked out for, I guess, you know, me or maybe even you. I hope this run that I used with like Yui and Miyako worked out. I did not have the 4-star Yui. I was scared, and I tried running like the Tamaki teams. I tried running the Hyori teams. They didn't work for me. Yui was the only time. So for me, Yui and Miyako were the MVPs, and of course Miyako maybe doing like a little bit of like that dodge around the 47 second mark. That was key for me in this fight. I don't know if I'm ready for Luna Tower, to be honest, if it's this stressful, but I think like a challenge like this is very welcome to the game in some ways. And no, I don't think a lot of newer players can like tackle this, and don't worry if you can't tackle the very hard boss. Just note that like the hard boss is just as good for shards and everything, and you can always just run like the hard teams, and eventually you can transition to the very hard teams later on down the road. All you're doing is like maybe missing out on some tickets and the shard, but honestly it's not a big deal to the point that, you know, it makes the game unplayable. I think it's still very doable to essentially play the game through and through with hard mode and get all the stuff and all the resources that you need within the game. If you want to, I can sort of backtrace my opinion on some things if you want to focus more on the event and just farm out all of like, you know, the normal nodes in order to get more tickets to tackle more runs on hard mode. If you're a free-to-play player and you want to dedicate more time to getting Summer Kokoro to Ascension, then feel free to do that. I'm getting ready for rank 10, and we'll talk about rank 10 as we get closer. I feel like Princess Connect has definitely shifted in sort of like the meta in some ways with this summer update. I can already feel it because the way they introduced this boss, it made it so that you do require like a certain ascension for characters. You do require like characters like Makoto and June in some ways, because every single team that was showcased, if you didn't have one of the two, it was going to be almost near impossible to 3-phase or technically 2-phase the boss. So hopefully though, like we can figure out some teams. Like let me know down in the comments if you figured out a better team, a more budget team that you can actually run in order to defeat the very hard boss. It was like definitely a doozy, and I hope you like the best of luck. But hopefully the Yui Miyako comp, and the biggest thing, avoiding like that harpoon at the 47-48 second mark. If you can do that with Miyako or whichever character, you are going to be golden. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video with the very hard boss. Don't be too stressed if you can't do it. Just tackle the hard mode. You can definitely clear out all the lineups, and you can get everything that you need to 3-star a Kokoro. And if you're wondering how to get a free Kokoro, you just defeat, like whether it's normal or hard, you defeat the boss like 5 times, and then you will eventually get your Kokoro. We'll be doing a showcase. We'll be doing the rank 10s. Anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 22,500 subs, we'll be doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day. See you in the next one.